Local artist Yip Yew Chong exhibits I Paint My Singapore in Raffles City Convention Centre from the 30th of November 2023 till the 1st of January 2024. He showcases an artwork that consists of a 27-piece spread which totals 60 meters in length. So Yip Yew Chong started working on this in August 2021 and completed the last panel in January 2023, taking him a total of 18 months. Each panel shows a glimpse into a part of Singapore in the 1970s and 1980s. Mr. Yip chose to reference this unique period because it was a time where you can see a mix of old and new. I quote from an article from the Straits Times in January 2023. In the 60s, you can only see kampongs and old shophouses like these, but you don't see many tall buildings. In the 90s, all these disappeared. The facades may still be there, but the lifestyles and the residents are no longer there. Each of the 27 panels is a piece of art on its own, showing scenes of places in Singapore ranging from the Woodlands checkpoint, Tiong Bahru, the CBD area, Katong, Orchard, and I can go on. Most of them show an aerial or bird's eye view of the scene. The scenes are made up, but heavily based on the past and how it was like during that period. So each panel tells its own story, but together they also form a sort of panoramic landscape and can be treated as a single piece. It is like an Instagram carousel post, but viewed physically as 27 panels. I think what's so amazing about this is how huge it is. The whole piece tells a cohesive and complete story, which is like giving you a slice of Singapore at a time and place. But at the same time, each panel has its own sub-story. It is like watching a TV series with a main plot and many subplots within it. So the level of detail here is not in the brush strokes or the rendering of the artwork. It is the depth in details in the story that Mr. Yip brings into each panel and the message he brings through the pieces. In fact, you will find that much of the painting's details is not fully rendered. I think this also adds to the more traditional and less digital look that is harder to find today with tools like Adobe. I myself have stopped using traditional medium almost entirely and consider myself more of a digital artist. Parts that are also meant to be less emphasized fade literally into the background with less detail and color. I'm not sure if you can call it Easter eggs, but looking closer, there's sometimes little interesting things to spot in the paintings. Through Mr. Yip's I Paint My Singapore, we get to experience and remember what Singapore was like in the past. His work transports you back in time. I find Mr. Yip's work very inspiring and admirable. Singapore is very fast-paced, constantly changing and moving forward. This means that as we move forward, it is very easy to forget and lose touch with our past. Singapore is also a very small country, so because land is scarce, the old needs to make way for the new. Many old buildings are brought down for newer ones, and it's easy to forget what life was like in the past, our culture and heritage, things like that. Great artists are not simply people who have great technical skills. but can also tell meaningful stories and have a strong message to say. So you may be asking, what happens to the artwork after the exhibition? Or how did Mr. Yip paint this? Here's an FAQ from the exhibition where he answers some of these questions. Outside of this exhibition, you can find Mr. Yip's art as wall murals scattered around parts of Singapore, in places like Tiong Bahru, Chinatown, and Kampong Glam. I think it's great to have this art around us instead of advertising from businesses to get us to buy more stuff and encourage consumerism. It's just nice to have art around us promoting local culture and heritage, which is refreshing.